Welcome back. So today is Saturday. I thought I would do something different. So today we're going to go basically do a live stream. We're going to talk about the miners, see how they compare to Bitcoin over the past week with stock price and Bitcoin price, see how it did. And then we'll take a look at obviously the 4-week, 8-week, 12-week analysis on the miners. And then we'll do some maybe Q&A, see if you guys have any questions out there. And we'll call it a day for that. All right. So as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted. And then I'm invested in the following companies and coins. So let's get into Bitcoin first. We'll look at Ethereum as well, and we'll go from there. All right. So Bitcoin right now is at 41,287. It has obviously pumped pretty nicely yesterday, and we're kind of taking a little breather right now, it looks like it. I said it in yesterday's video as well that I'm a little bit concerned with how fast we've gone up in price in one day. I'm a little bit worried on the 1-hour chart. So let's take a look at the 1-hour chart, see if it's come down a little bit as far as, yeah, RSI has come down, which is kind of good, even though we are still nicely above our resistance here, now support of 40,600 or so. Let me see if we can zoom this out. There we go. So we can obviously see we have come down on the RSI, which is good. Price has kind of stayed the same up here. We're at the same price that we were here, and RSI has come down from it. So that's a good sign. So we want to see that continue on, and then possibly with the price going back up, I think we'll be okay. But we got to monitor that, right? We don't want to be too much in the oversold territory for too long, because then we could get into trouble, obviously, with we'll have it like a dead cat bounce happening on us. Other than that, everything else looks pretty good on Bitcoin right now. It's nice to see that we are above our resistance here now, support. Our next, if we look at the daily chart here, our next support or resistance is actually going to be right around the 44,700 mark. And we'll see if we can obviously muster the strength to get above it here in the next couple of days. We'll see how this plays out. We'll extend the lines out as well, and then we'll see how that goes on. Obviously, if we come back down, we're coming back down to probably the 37,000 mark here and on the time frame. So there's always two ways this could go, and we'll see how it plays out. Let's take a look at Ethereum here really quick. Ethereum is also doing really well. It's up above 3,000, which is good to see as well. I think 3,000 was kind of the resistance line here. We've seen it from here to here, and then we can also see it from other times back here where 3,000 played as a resistance. So we're above it right now a little bit. And we obviously crossed our trend line here a little bit. So we're good as far as Ethereum is concerned. We'll obviously have to see it's not overbought on the daily chart. Let's take a look at the 1-hour chart here really quick. And obviously you can see here the RSI has come down on the 1-hour chart as well. And if we look at it here, last time we were here on the RSI about the same price, and it has come down. So that's a good sign. That's something I wanted to see, that the RSI coming down even though the price is staying pretty much stable. So we're good there. All right, let's take a look at the Bitcoin network hash rate. Hash rate continues to obviously increase. That obviously has an effect. Ooh, we're seeing a pretty good spike here right now. We're at 197 million terahash on the 7-day average. If we look at the raw values, we are down, but we continue to have a path going up higher. And we do know that the miners are getting things installed. So we'll take a look at that, see how that plays out. And let's take a look at the miners right now, see how they did for the week. So Argo was obviously up nicely yesterday. It was up 8.71%. I covered this a lot yesterday, so I'm not going to go into too much detail with it. If you want to take a look at the video, it was the one with Cleanspark in it. So I went over all this stuff on that. Bitfarms is at 381. Had a nice week as well. Some up, some down, but overall I think all the miners are going to be up for the week here, which is good. Cleanspark 683. Cores is at 944. It has obviously came way up from its low here of 582. And then Digihost is up 13%. Did really well yesterday to $4.28. DMG was up nicely as well to 47 cents. Hive was up to $2, up nicely as well. Hot 8 is at 649. That was up nicely too at 12.25% up. And then Iris is up 5% roughly to 13.15. Marathon was at 23.51, up nicely to 10% up in yesterday. And then we got Mawson obviously up 3.98% to 522. It has obviously come up off of its low here, 351 in the last, that was last week, I believe. and it is trending up higher, so that's good to see as well. And then Riot is up nicely as well, 12% yesterday to 1657. So we'll take a look at the numbers here, see what we got going on with the miners and Bitcoin. So here's our chart right now on the miners. We have obviously all these guys here at Bitcoin at 41,500, finished out the week yesterday. Argo $1.03, Bitfarms 381, Cleanspark 683, Core Scientific 944, Digihost 428, DMG 48, Hive was at 2, Hut at 649, Iris at 11, Marathon was at 2351, Mawson is at 522, and Riot was at 1657. So great week for everybody. We can see that everybody here was in the green for the week, except for Iris. Iris was pretty much flat on the week, 0% gain basically, $0 gained also. And then we can see that Digihost has been doing pretty well for the past couple weeks here. On the 4-week, we can see that it is up, and on the 8-week, it is up as well. And then obviously this week it was up nicely as well. So everybody's doing really well this week along with Bitcoin. So let's take a look at them. If we categorize them descending for the week, we can see that, let's go back to the 1-week chart here. So we can see Core Scientific did the best. It was up 21.34% on the week. Bitcoin was up only 9.84%. So Core, Digi, Hut, Bitfarms, Mawson, Riot, and Cleanspark outperformed Bitcoin this week. And then the laggards here were Argo, DMG, Marathon, Hive, and Iris. Iris was the worst one here. It was only up 6.9%, and then Hive was up 6.95%, and then Iris was only up 0%. So not a good week for Iris. Or some of these guys here, they didn't do as well as Bitcoin. Let's take a look at them at the 4-week percentage gain, see how they did. Sort descending. And let's take a look at the 4-week chart here. There we go. So Digihost is down on the 4-week, or actually up on the 4-week, 7.27%. Mawson is up 3.78%, and then Hut 8 is only down almost 2%, and Bitcoin is down 3.75% roughly, and everybody else here did far worse than Bitcoin and the other guys here. With the worst performing one was, looks like DMG here. It was down 23% on the 4 weeks. And then let's take a look at the 8-week really quick, and then 12-week. So if we come down here, on the 8-week, we can see Digihost has done the best at 13.23%. Far outperforming everybody else. And then Cleanspark down here was down 41% almost. And Bitcoin was actually only down, it looks like 10%. Well, these guys have definitely done the worst here on the 8-week chart. With Mawson, Marathon, DMG being over 30% along with Riot. So rough 8 weeks for these guys here. And then if we look at the final 12-week chart, let's take a look at it here really quick. We can see that everybody's down on the 12-week chart for the most part, with Cleanspark being down the most, 62%, followed by Marathon, Iris, Riot, Mawson, Bitfarms, Hive. Everybody's above 50% except for Argo, Core Scientific. And Core Scientific went through a SPAC merger, so that data is not going to be all that accurate on them. And then Bitcoin is only down basically 28.5%, while Digihost is down 23%. So Digihost seems to be doing pretty better than Bitcoin is, at least far as crashing goes. So now if we look at the overall picture here on the miners here for the last 12 weeks or so, we can see a pattern developing. Obviously, we got a nice green week here this week, if we look at it. And then we've had a couple miners up last week that were up nicely. Some were obviously down. The week prior, we had a rough week. We had 21% down here, 24, 18, 23, 22, 27%. So that was a rough week for the miners. So that was 2 weeks ago, roughly. And then we had a great week, Christmas week, which was all the miners were up on that time frame as well. So it's kind of nice to see how that is playing out right now. And looks like we don't have anybody watching the stream here, so I'm probably going to just call it a day here. But obviously the miners are doing good for this week. Not much to complain about it there. We'll see how they do next week. I would like to see, obviously, Bitcoin go up in price and value. I think that's going to obviously help out the miners as well. Next couple of videos that are going to be coming out are going to be on Marathon and Riot, they provided their January numbers, so I'll do that following this video. And since we don't have anybody asking any questions or anything like that, we'll call it a day, and we'll get into it again in a little bit. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great day.